This space turned into a test lab, and I'm very proud of it. It's working, we are testing, we have the first results. It is buzzing as I wanted it to be.
So the advantages of this new location are that we can test indoors, so regardless of weather. It's a secure location, so it's all very well protected. We have space and we have high power, so we have 1.1 megawatts of connecting power at the moment, and we can increase that in the future. So this test lab is aiming at car manufacturers, charging station manufacturers, the information systems that manage the whole system, but also service providers who want to communicate to the vehicles to, for instance, offer smart charging.
So we do 6 tests at the Elaad Testlab. The first test is interoperability. During the interoperability test, we test if an electric vehicle and a charging station are able to understand each other. We do this during regular charging, but also during smart charging. Test 2 is the smart charging test. We test the charging stations and the electric vehicles if they can cope with these smart charging scenarios. So if we postpone charging for a longer time, or if we use different levels of charging speed, are they able to understand these scenarios and are they able to cope with it? Test 3 is power quality. Well, during our tests we do measurements to see the influence of the charging infra and the electric vehicles on the electricity grid. But we can also test the immunity of these devices on any power quality issues in the electricity grid itself. We use this data to learn more about the influence of these charges on the electricity grid and to eventually create new standards and limits for certain power quality issues that can be found with these devices. Test 4 is the grid connection test. We check if the grid connection for a public charging station is conform the specifications from the different grid operators here in the Netherlands. These charging stations can easily be installed by the grid operators in the public electricity grid. Test 5 is cybersecurity. We test if all communication between the different devices is cyber secure, so we know that nobody can hack the system, change, for instance, the charging sessions, but also change the power to the electric vehicles and the charging stations themselves, and by this way create problems in the electricity grid. And test 6 is the ICT chain test. We test if the communication from the whole communication chain, so from back office system eventually to electric vehicle, if the message coming from one side arrives at the other side and is understood correctly.
When we test together with vendors, we find points of improvement, and we share that very discreetly with this individual vendor so they can work with their own teams to better their products. So in the first period, since we've been open, we've had a lot of tests already in this lab. Some of them were individual one-to-one tests, but we've also had a large number of tests with a group. So testing with multiple parties, of course, this space is very suitable for that.
For the next years, our ambition is to also be able to test a megawatt charging system. Will be coming on the market somewhere the next couple of years.
We welcome and invite all the car manufacturers, truck manufacturers, manufacturers of infrastructure to Arnhem to test together with us.